Things just got way too real in the world of love and hip-hop. Shocking reports have started surfacing that Kirk Frost was allegedly caught spending an entire night with none other than Kendra, Young Jock's wife. Yes, you heard that right. Sources close to the couple claim that Kirk and Kendra were spotted leaving an upscale Atlanta hotel just minutes apart, with eyewitnesses saying they looked way too comfortable for it to be innocent. And now, what's making this story even more explosive is Young Jock's recent emotional confession that's been sending shockwaves through fans and cast members alike. Behind the scenes, rumors are swirling, friends are taking sides, and the entire love and hip-hop cast is being dragged into a whirlwind of drama, betrayal, and heartbreak. Could this be the ultimate betrayal between two longtime friends? Or is there more to the story than meets the eye? Fans are shocked, emotions are running high, and nobody knows who to trust anymore. Buckle up, because this story is filled with jaw-dropping twists, messy confrontations, and a revelation that might just change everything we thought we knew about Kirk, Kendra, and Young Jock. The leaked voicemail had already shaken things up, but no one was prepared for what came next. Late that evening, a short video clip began making rounds on social media. At first, it was grainy, unclear, possibly a prank. But as the quality-enhanced version started circulating, fans could make out two very familiar faces, Kirk and Kendra, walking into what looked like a private rental house. The footage, captured by a security camera across the street, showed Kirk checking over his shoulder before opening the door for Kendra. She walked in with a slight smile, and he followed her quickly, closing the door behind them. The timestamp? Just 2 nights before the hotel incident. The implications were undeniable now. This wasn't a one-time encounter. It looked like something that had been going on behind closed doors for a while, and people couldn't stop asking, was this an affair or something deeper? Young Jock's reaction came swiftly. During a late-night Instagram live, he appeared visibly emotional, rubbing his eyes and trying to keep his voice steady. "I ain't gonna lie to y'all," he said. "This one hit different. Betrayal don't always come from enemies. Sometimes it's the ones closest to you." His fans flooded the comment section, showing support, but also demanding answers. Why hadn't he seen this coming? Had Kendra and Kirk been playing him for months? Meanwhile, Rashida finally broke her silence. In a post that has since gone viral, she uploaded a black screen with the words, "Trust is like glass. Once shattered, it's never the same." The caption read, "Some wounds don't bleed, but they still hurt like hell." Fans immediately read between the lines. Even though she didn't name anyone, the timing made it obvious who she was referring to. Things took another turn when Bambi, who has remained close to both Rashida and Jock, posted a series of cryptic tweets. One said, "Loyalty ain't for everybody." Another read, "Funny how people forget their own mess while judging yours." Fans speculated whether she was defending Kirk, shading Kendra, or maybe warning Jock not to play victim. Behind the scenes, producers of Love and Hip Hop reportedly held an emergency meeting. The drama had exploded beyond the cameras, and they knew this scandal was ratings gold, but also risky. Insiders claim there's talk of shooting a special confrontation episode, where all parties involved would be brought face-to-face in an off-site location, but convincing them to show up is proving to be a challenge. Joke, sources say, is refusing to speak to Kirk. He blocked his number, told producers he doesn't want to be in the same room, one insider revealed. Meanwhile, Kendra is said to be devastated by the backlash. She's allegedly staying with a close friend and avoiding calls from the show's team. Another source said she never wanted this to get out. She thought she had control of the situation. Fans are now revisiting old episodes of Love and Hip Hop, looking for clues they may have missed. In one scene, Kirk jokingly called Kendra trouble, and she responded with a wink. Back then, it seemed playful. Now, viewers are convinced it was a hint of something more. Other fans noticed how Kirk always seemed to defend Kendra during group arguments, something that now feels suspicious in hindsight. Rashida, for her part, is leaning on her inner circle. Her sister posted a photo of the two together with the caption, "Blood don't betray you." Friends say Rashida is considering taking a break from filming to process everything. "She's humiliated," one source shared. Kirk promised he'd never put her through anything like this again. And here they are, years later, repeating the same cycle. But the most unexpected twist came when a voice message from Kendra allegedly got leaked. In it, she was heard saying, "I never meant to hurt anybody. I was confused. I didn't know what I was doing. I thought Jock didn't care anymore." The voice sounded tired, almost broken. Fans were torn. Some felt sympathy, others were furious. One commenter wrote, "You knew exactly what you were doing. Don't play victim now." As more tea spilled, another explosive claim surfaced, that this wasn't even the first time Kirk and Kendra had been involved. A former crew member from the show anonymously claimed that years ago, before Kendra officially started dating Jock, there had been a brief, low-key fling between her and Kirk. Nobody took it seriously because it fizzled out fast, but there was definitely something there, they said. Suddenly, it all made sense to fans. Maybe this was unfinished business that never really went away. Jock's friends are reportedly trying to calm him down. He's angry, yes, but also deeply hurt. One of his longtime boys told the press he trusted Kirk like a brother. He was gonna ask him to be best man at the wedding. Now he's saying he doesn't even want to get married. Kendra's betrayal has rocked him, but Kirk's role in this is what's tearing him apart. The emotional toll is becoming too visible to ignore. And Kirk? He hasn't said much publicly, but sources close to him say he's insisting things are being blown out of proportion. He's allegedly telling people that it wasn't a romantic night, and he was simply talking to Kendra about issues she had with Jock. But no one's buying that story, especially not after the leaked footage and voice notes. As the situation spirals further out of control, rumors are now circulating that Kendra might be pregnant, a claim neither confirmed nor denied. The mere suggestion sent shockwaves across social media. If true, it would not only change the narrative, but take this scandal into entirely new territory. Fans are anxiously watching her every move, trying to decode any possible signs, loose clothing, subtle captions, anything. The tension is rising. Lines are being drawn. Loyalties are being tested. And as the fallout continues, the rest of the cast is bracing for impact. There's talk of fights breaking out on set, alliances shifting, and producers scrambling to keep things from completely falling apart. And just when everyone thought they'd heard it all, a new player steps into the chaos. A woman claiming to have proof that Kirk and Kendra's relationship has been going on for over a year. As rumors continued to swirl around the Kirk and Kendra situation, things started to take a more personal turn. Yandy Smith-Harris, known for her no-nonsense attitude, finally spoke out in an exclusive interview with a popular online magazine. During the interview, she gave a pointed look, leaned into the microphone, and said, "I'm not surprised. I've known for a while that things weren't right." When asked if she was referring to Kirk, she didn't hesitate. "Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We've all seen the signs. I've been close to Rashida for years. She deserves better than this. They deserve better." Yandy's bluntness left fans in shock, but also sparked a conversation about the loyalty of those involved in this messy situation. While Yandy's words might have felt like a revelation to some, the real bombshell came just hours after the interview. A social media post went viral. It was from an anonymous account claiming to have insider knowledge. The post contained a short video, blurry at first, but the message was crystal clear. It showed Kirk and Kendra sneaking out of a building together late at night, visibly trying to avoid being spotted. It wasn't the first piece of evidence that had surfaced, but this one was different. It was raw, real footage, and it confirmed suspicions that had been lingering for months. Rumors now suggested that Kirk and Kendra had been secretly seeing each other for much longer than anyone had thought. And now, with everything out in the open, fans were left questioning the integrity of the entire cast. Were these relationships built on lies? Or was there more to the story than what was being revealed? The public began to turn on Kirk. What once seemed like a simple case of a cheating spouse had now evolved into something far more complicated. Suddenly, questions about his role in the cast and his long-standing marriage to Rashida took center stage. The emotional turmoil surrounding the scandal reached its peak when Kirk's own children weighed in on social media. His son, who had recently celebrated his birthday on Instagram, posted a cryptic message that read, "Family is everything. But when betrayal takes over, you gotta rethink everything." His words, though not directly referencing the scandal, resonated deeply with fans. Was Kirk's own family questioning his actions too? As the scandal continued to snowball, the attention shifted to Kendra. While Kirk had been the one to receive the brunt of the public's anger, Kendra seemed to be quietly slipping out of the spotlight. Fans had started to dig deeper into her past and were unearthing unsettling details. Some had pointed out that her dating history seemed to be full of drama, with a few ex-boyfriends even taking to Twitter to voice their frustration over their own messy breakups. Not surprised one bit, one of her exes tweeted, "She's always been about the drama. She gets a thrill from it." While this was just one person's opinion, it only added fuel to the fire. Could Kendra's past hold the key to understanding her actions with Kirk? The situation took another turn when a well-known celebrity gossip blogger published an explosive article detailing a supposed secret meeting between Kirk and Kendra just days before the video leak. Sources claimed that the meeting wasn't a simple conversation. In fact, it was allegedly an emotional heart-to-heart, during which Kirk supposedly poured his heart out to Kendra, lamenting the state of his marriage and his life. If these claims were true, it added a whole new layer to the drama. Had Kirk been looking for validation outside of his marriage with Rashida? And if so, was it possible that Kendra was simply a rebound, or was there something deeper going on? The emotional drama continued to escalate when fans learned that Kendra and Jock were no longer speaking. The tension between the two had reached a boiling point, and rumors suggested that Jock was done with Kendra after everything had come to light. "I can't even look at her the same way," one of Jock's close friends told the media. "She hurt him in the worst way. He feels like a fool." Jock himself had yet to comment directly on the situation, but it was clear that the emotional fallout was taking a toll on him. Fans could only speculate on what this meant for his relationship with Kendra. Would they reconcile, or was this the final chapter for the two of them? As for Rashida, the rumors about her reaction to Kirk's infidelity were still circulating. Some sources claimed she was devastated, unable to comprehend how her husband could betray her after all they had been through. Others, however, said that she was holding it together in public, but privately, she was struggling to cope with the situation. "She's broken, but she's not giving up yet," a family friend shared. Rashida is a fighter, but the pain she's feeling right now is unimaginable. Despite the ongoing drama, one thing was becoming clear. The situation wasn't going to resolve anytime soon. The world watched, captivated by the twists and turns of this scandal, as new revelations continued to surface almost every day. The cast of Love and Hip Hop had become embroiled in a web of lies, deception, and betrayal, and it seemed like the truth would never come out fully. But what fans didn't know was that the biggest twist was still yet to come. A source close to Kirk revealed that he was secretly planning to confront Kendra and Jock in a dramatic face-to-face meeting. Insiders claimed that Kirk was desperate to clear the air, to explain his actions, and perhaps even apologize for everything that had transpired. Would this confrontation be the turning point for Kirk, or would it only make matters worse? Fans eagerly awaited the next chapter in this ongoing saga, knowing that the drama was far from over. As the countdown to the alleged confrontation began, tensions were higher than ever. The cast, the fans, and everyone involved were holding their breath, waiting for the explosive moment when Kirk would finally face his past and the consequences of his actions. As the days went by, the drama surrounding Kirk, Kendra, and young Jock only grew more intense. The pressure was mounting on Kirk, and his impending confrontation with Kendra and Jock was quickly becoming the most talked-about event in the reality TV world. Fans were anxiously waiting to see how Kirk would handle the mounting chaos, and many were betting on a public apology. But little did they know, Kirk had something far more dramatic planned. It all started when a leaked video surfaced online, showing Kirk in a tense conversation with one of his closest friends. In the video, Kirk looked visibly agitated, his face red with frustration as he spoke about the drama that had been unfolding. "This isn't just about me anymore," Kirk said, pacing back and forth. "It's about everyone involved. I've been trying to hold it together. But this is too much. I don't know if I can fix it." His friend, seen off camera, urged Kirk to keep a level head, but Kirk seemed determined to confront the situation head-on, no matter the cost. The video ended with Kirk saying, "I'm done hiding. I'm going to put it all on the table." As the video went viral, fans were left wondering, what was Kirk going to do? What did he mean by put it all on the table? Was this his way of preparing for his confrontation with Kendra and Joke, or was he planning something far more explosive? The drama took yet another turn when it was revealed that Kendra had been quietly meeting with a lawyer. The rumors about her seeking legal advice were confirmed when a source close to her revealed that she was preparing for the worst. "Kendra's not stupid," the source said. "She knows Kirk is trying to spin this whole thing in his favor, but she's not going to let him get away with it. She's ready to fight back." Fans were shocked to learn that Kendra, the woman who had once seemed to be caught up in the whirlwind of Kirk's affair, was now taking steps to protect herself. Meanwhile, Jock's feelings were becoming more complicated. After weeks of silence, he finally broke his silence in an emotional interview with a radio station. Jock, usually known for his calm demeanor, seemed visibly shaken as he spoke about his feelings for Kendra. "I'm hurt," he admitted. "I really thought Kendra and I had something real. But now, I just don't know. I don't know if I can ever trust her again." Jock's words struck a chord with fans, who began to question whether the love between Kendra and Jock had been real in the first place. Was Jock truly in love with Kendra, or was he simply holding on to a fantasy? And if he was truly hurt by her actions, how far would he go to make things right? The tension was palpable as the cast of Love and Hip Hop prepared for a massive showdown. Kirk, who had been keeping a low profile after his explosive video leak, suddenly resurfaced in public. He was seen with his wife, Rashida, at a private event, and the two appeared to be having a quiet conversation. It was unclear what was being said, but their body language suggested that the conversation was anything but peaceful. Sources close to the couple revealed that Kirk had been trying to salvage his marriage, but the cracks in their relationship were becoming too deep to ignore. "Rashida is hurt," one insider shared. "She wants to believe in Kirk, but the trust is gone. It's going to take a lot for her to forgive him for everything that's happened." Kirk, for his part, seemed to be trying to make amends, but it was clear that his actions had caused irreparable damage. Could this be the end of his marriage, or was there still hope for reconciliation? As the rumors swirled, it was clear that the confrontation between Kirk, Kendra, and Jock was inevitable. The stage was set for a meeting that would change everything. The question on everyone's mind was, how would it all play out? Would Kirk finally take responsibility for his actions, or would he continue to play the victim? Would Kendra stand her ground, or would she back down? And most importantly, what would happen to the fragile relationships that had been shattered by the affair? The emotional stakes were higher than ever. Fans were on the edge of their seats, eagerly awaiting the moment when Kirk would face his demons. The world was about to witness a confrontation unlike any other, one that would have lasting consequences for everyone involved. Would Kirk be able to salvage his reputation, or was he doomed to be remembered as the man who tore apart the Love and Hip Hop cast? As the fateful meeting approached, Kirk found himself in a whirlwind of emotions. He was determined to make things right, but he knew that he couldn't undo the damage he had caused. The pain was already done, and the repercussions were already starting to be felt. But Kirk wasn't ready to give up just yet. He believed that there was still a chance for redemption, and he was willing to fight for it. Meanwhile, Kendra's lawyer continued to prepare her case, gathering evidence and building a strategy. Kendra knew that Kirk's confession, whether it came voluntarily or as a result of the confrontation, would be crucial in determining her next steps. She wasn't about to let Kirk manipulate the narrative any longer. She was ready to take control of her own story and make sure that the truth was heard. As the clock ticked down to the fateful day of the confrontation, the tension continued to rise. The fans were on high alert, waiting for the moment when the truth would finally come out. Would Kirk, Kendra, and Jock be able to face each other and work through their issues, or would the drama spiral out of control once and for all? The stakes had never been higher, and the answer seemed just out of reach. Only time would tell how this explosive saga would unfold. But one thing was certain: the world was watching, and no one was going to be able to look away. The moment everyone had been waiting for finally arrived. Kirk, Kendra, and Jock were all set to meet, and the tension was at an all-time high. Fans across the globe were eagerly waiting to see how this explosive situation would unfold. Cameras were rolling, the stage was set, and the emotions were running wild. It was a confrontation that no one could have predicted, and no one could have prepared for. Kirk arrived at the meeting place first, looking nervous and visibly agitated. He paced back and forth, his mind racing. He had been through so much in the past few weeks: the public humiliation, the leaked videos, the rumors, the accusations, and now he was about to face the people who had been at the center of it all. He had no idea how Kendra and Jock would react, but he knew that this was his last chance to make things right. If he wanted to salvage any part of his reputation, he had to get through this. As the minutes ticked by, Kirk's anxiety grew. He tried to calm himself, but his thoughts were clouded with doubt. He had been caught in a lie, and now he was expected to fix everything with a few words. Could he really do that? Could he convince Kendra and Jock that he was sorry, that he never meant for any of this to happen? Or was he too far gone? Just as Kirk was starting to lose hope, Kendra arrived. She walked into the room with a sense of purpose. Her eyes locked onto Kirk's. She was calm, but there was an unmistakable coldness to her demeanor. It was clear that she wasn't here to play games. She had already made up her mind about what she wanted to do, and she wasn't about to let Kirk manipulate the situation any longer. "Let's just get this over with," Kendra said, her voice steady but firm. She didn't waste any time with pleasantries. She was ready to confront Kirk head-on, and she wasn't going to back down. Kirk swallowed hard, trying to find the right words. "Kendra, I don't know how to say this, but I am sorry. I messed up. I know I hurt you, and I know I hurt Jock too." He took a deep breath, his voice shaking. "I never meant for any of this to happen. It's been a mess, and I take full responsibility for everything." Kendra's eyes narrowed. She wasn't moved by his apology. In fact, she seemed almost unimpressed. "Kirk," she began, her tone icy, "I don't think you understand the gravity of what you've done. It's not just about an apology. You've crossed a line, and now you're trying to fix it with a few words." She shook her head, clearly disappointed. It's too late for that. The silence in the room was deafening as Kirk tried to process her words. He had expected some anger, some tears, maybe even a little forgiveness. But what he was hearing from Kendra wasn't what he anticipated at all. She was cold, detached, and unwilling to let him off the hook. She had clearly been hurt, and she wasn't ready to let go of her pain. Just then, Jock walked into the room, his expression unreadable. He had been waiting outside, giving Kendra and Kirk a few moments to speak. But now it was his turn. As he took a seat, his eyes flickered between Kendra and Kirk, the tension between them palpable. Jock had been through his own emotional turmoil over the past few weeks, and now he was about to let everyone know exactly how he felt. "Kirk," Jock began, his voice low and controlled, "you've been playing with people's lives, man. This isn't a game. This is real. And now you're trying to act like you can just apologize and make everything okay. No." Jock shook his head, his jaw clenched tight. "It doesn't work like that. I'm not just hurt because of what you did to Kendra. I'm hurt because you're trying to make it seem like you're the victim here. You're not." Kirk's face flushed with embarrassment. He had never seen Jock so angry, and it stung. The man who had once been his friend was now accusing him of things that he couldn't deny. For the first time, Kirk felt completely exposed, with nowhere to hide. "I never meant for it to get this far," Kirk said, his voice cracking. "I messed up. I made a mistake, and I don't expect you to forgive me right away. But I want to make it right. I want to fix things." Jock's eyes narrowed, his disbelief evident. You think you can just fix things like that? After everything? Kirk, you don't understand what you've done. You've destroyed trust. You've destroyed friendships. And now you think an apology is enough. Joke shook his head, a bitter laugh escaping his lips. It's not enough, man. Not even close. Kendra, who had been quiet until now, finally spoke up. You've hurt both of us, Kirk, she said, her voice softer now but still full of emotion. And the worst part is, you never even thought about the consequences. You just acted without thinking. And now, here we are, dealing with the mess you created. She looked at Kirk, her eyes filled with disappointment. This isn't something you can fix overnight. You can't just apologize and expect everything to go back to normal. The weight of her words hit Kirk like a ton of bricks. He had underestimated the damage he had caused. He had hoped that his apology would be enough to smooth things over, but now he realized that it wasn't. It wasn't even close. The room fell into silence again, each of them lost in their thoughts. Kirk, still struggling to find the right words, glanced at Jock and Kendra. They were both right. He had crossed a line, and he couldn't just take it all back. But he wasn't ready to give up just yet. He wasn't ready to let this be the end. Look, Kirk said, his voice steady now. I know I can't undo what I did, but I'm not giving up on making things right. I'm not asking for your forgiveness, but I want to show you that I can change. I'll do whatever it takes. Joke and Kendra exchanged a look, the air thick with tension. They both knew that Kirk's words weren't enough, not yet. But could they give him a chance to prove himself? Could they ever trust him again? Only time would tell. But for now, the meeting had ended. The damage had been done, and all three of them were left with more questions than answers. Could Kirk redeem himself? Would he ever be able to fix the shattered trust? And more importantly, could they move on from this, or had the damage been irreparable? As the cameras turned off and the meeting ended, the future of Kirk, Kendra, and Jock remained uncertain. The world would be watching closely, waiting for the next chapter in this explosive saga. The drama was far from over, and with every twist and turn, it only seemed to get more complicated. And there you have it, folks. The drama between Kirk, Kendra, and Jock is far from over, and this explosive situation is still unfolding. While Kirk has promised to change, the road to redemption is long and filled with obstacles. Will he be able to regain the trust he's lost? Can Kendra and Jock ever forgive him? Or will this be the end of their relationships forever? Only time will tell. But now, we want to hear from you. Do you think Kirk can redeem himself, or is it too late for him? Will Kendra and Jock ever let him back into their lives, or have they moved on for good? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get the conversation going. Don't forget to like this video if you're following the drama, and of course, subscribe for all the latest updates on this scandalous story and much more. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on this unfolding saga. Stay tuned because the next chapter in Kirk, Kendra, and Jock's drama might just be around the corner. See you in the next one, and as always, thanks for watching.